Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you'll be listening to. Breaking news. It's our Friday night. Usually we're doing stuff that we want to be doing, Larson. But earlier this evening, CM Punk tweeted out, "I'll be on AEW Rampage live tonight with an important announcement in regards to the AEW World Championship and my career. Please tune in." Following that, Fightful Select said that it might have something to do with his foot having been hurt maybe on Wednesday at Dynamite. So those things happened. And then sure enough, tonight on Rampage, the reason why we're here on a Friday night is because it's a pretty big deal. He showed up in tears, literally into, not just on the verge of tears. The dude had a couple tears coming down. A little bit of a hobble walking down to the ring.
Yeah, a noticeable limp, yes.
And it was one of the bits about Fightful was that backstage he'd been complaining about a possible foot injury suffered at Dynamite. And he said, he said a lot about how much he loved doing this and how he showed up at the arena. He didn't really, everything in his body said go the other way, but his gut told him to stay there. And he owed the people this, that, the other. So long story short, he's banged up. He needs surgery. He's got an injury that requires surgery. Made it sound like it was in the foot. And there was a bit of confusion with what was actually going on, but this has been sort of settled. In the promo, he said he wanted to go in and tell Tony that he was relinquishing the title because he wants to be there as a fighting champion, essentially.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to hold up all the other great talent in AEW from going after the championship. Yes.
Exactly. And so he went back and he told Tony this, and Tony said, but Tony said this is merely a speed bump, or bump in the road, rather, and he believes in CM Punk. Yes. And so then Jericho on commentary claimed that CM Punk was relinquishing the title, but then finally, after a lot of back and forth on social media, AEW's it was clarified on Rampage.
On Rampage, yes.
Yeah. That what happened. What's the actual situation? What's going to happen?
So they're going to have a battle royal on Dynamite. The winner of that battle royal will face number one ranked wrestler Jon Moxley at Forbidden Door, and that whoever wins that match will be the interim champion. And then, of course, when CM Punk comes back, they'll have a unification bout similar to what we saw not that long ago between Cody and Sammy Guevara, where Cody couldn't make a scheduled title defense. Yeah, Sammy and Dustin Rhodes had an interim title match. Sammy won that, and then Sammy and Cody had the unification bout.
Right.
Similar to how when Punk walked out after Money in the Bank 2011, they crowned a new champion. Yeah. At first it was Rey Mysterio, then John Cena beat him basically immediately, and then we had Punk and John Cena at SummerSlam that year.
Right. Is that when Del Rio cashed in?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, there'll be no Alberto Del Rio this time.
No.
Or Alberto El Patron. So yeah, this is a bummer. I mean, this has come right off of since Punk's been back. Talk about the plus delta. This dude has been wrestling a lot. And in true CM Punk fashion, even going back to when he left in 2014, this guy does truly leave it all in the ring, and he ain't got that sort of John Cena X Factor mutant healing ability. This guy, it takes a toll on his body, and then he's got to go and get himself fixed up and everything.
Yeah.
And but I mean, honestly, it's just a testament. That's why I've always been a CM Punk fan, because man, this dude in every single match that he puts on, he does give it everything he has. It always looks like he's come out of a fight at the end of his matches, and you know, at this point, you sort of see what happens. So you have a theory, given that the actual interim title match is going to go down at Forbidden Door.
Well, that's the first thing that popped in my head, and we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. I think we will see CM Punk on AEW television. Obviously, he won't be wrestling.
Yeah, sure.
But if history is any indication, there's been several times when he was in WWE when he couldn't wrestle, he would join commentary. He would do several other things. So even if he's not wrestling, I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up from time to time. Just to remind people, hi, CM Punk here. Also, he's good for ratings. He's good for numbers. So I would not, assuming he could travel after surgery. I would not be surprised if we see him on occasion. Now, so Punk it was announced that he was going to face Hiroshi Tanahashi for Forbidden Door. I don't know with any degree of certainty if this is going to happen. This is just a guess. I know Mox wants the Tanahashi match, the one-on-one match. As far as I remember, it hasn't happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if New Japan would agree to this, where Tanahashi would be in this Battle Royal on Wednesday, he would win it, face Mox at Forbidden Door. Mox wins interim title. Could happen.
Yeah. And
I believe it was the other U.S. title match at Capital Combat. It was Mox, it was Ospreay, it was Tanahashi, and it was Juice Robinson.
Yeah.
I believe those were the 4 participants.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've had Mox Tanahashi 101.
Yeah, no, I mean that's as solid a theory as any. I mean, there's still MJF is just sort of out there. We're still not sure. They haven't referenced him, I don't believe, on Rampage. I watched everything up until the main event. I'm going to watch that after this. But MJF is sort of hovering out there. And then not only do we have Forbidden Door in Chicago, traditionally All Out has been held in Chicago as well. That is about 3 months away. That's at the end of September or the beginning of September?
Usually it's Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, right. Beginning of September. So that's about 3 months away. So, I mean, it's entirely possible that CM Punk can, I guess recapture wouldn't be the word. It'd be, unify the interim titles or the interim title and the title in Chicago, which would be a big deal. Mox is an absolute tried and true guy. How great would it be if it ended up being Danielson versus Mox? I mean, could you imagine that?
That would be great.
There's
Kingston or Eddie versus
Kingston
Mox.
out there. God, could you imagine? Ooh, man, you imagine if Kingston was the interim champion?
That'd be awesome. Had to unify the titles against Phil.
I'm sure next week you and I will probably do either an overrun or a Friendo Club TV or a count out. Now that we have a situation where, as CM Punk said, man, there are a ton of top class names in AEW, all of whom could be that interim title. I feel like Mox has got to be the front runner. I mean, if he was number 1 ranked, that meant he was probably going to be Punk's first opponent anyways.
Yeah.
And like I said, he's carried the company through pandemic. If it was somebody like, I don't know, an Eddie Kingston, an interim championship has a bit of an asterisk to it. Mox, it doesn't really hurt him at all if he's interim champion because he's already had a massively long. I think he had the longest. Him or Kenny had the longest run as champion.
Kenny had the
longest run.
Kenny had it for almost a year.
Okay, yeah, Mox had it the second longest. This will all be very interesting to see how this plays out. It is a bummer, man. I know CM Punk obviously seems like he's been having the time of his life, and those tears seemed pretty damn real.
They did.
I know he's been doing the Hollywood stuff, but those seem like real tears, man.
Yeah, no, they did. You could tell even after all he's gone through in the professional wrestling world, AEW has rekindled his passion for professional wrestling. The passion he has for it is palpable. Yeah. It's there. It's evident. The joy he gets from it still. And to have that kind of taken away from him right as he's kind of climbed back to the top of the mountain, it's got to be heartbreaking. And he says he'll come back better than ever, and I believe it. So
yeah, you would think that whatever the surgery he's going to get, the injury he has, it's luckily when he tweeted out, I've got news on my career, the first thing you think of is, oh God, he has to retire. He went through all this, and now the Plus Delta has to retire. And nobody wants to see that. So I'm glad that he was really fired up by the end of this promo, saying I'm gonna, the $6 million man, they'll rebuild me better, faster, stronger. Lee Majors. Anyways, so yeah. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below about all this CM Punk business. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. Sunday, we'll be live here for
Hell in a Cell. It's called Hell in a Cell, man.
Hold on. Hell in a Cell. That's going down on Sunday. You can check out our predictions right now. They're available over at Friendo Club TV, where we think that's going to go down. So, yeah, if we remember, this coming Sunday, we'll be here for Hell in a Cell, Larson.
Yeah, but I might need a reminder. I better set the reminder
kind of
alert here on
big
my telephone.
If we remember, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. That's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonator Phil McDonald here to tell you to go support Going In Raw and Friendo Club at patreon.com/Steven Larson. They got bonus episodes, ad-free audio, a weekly newsletter rounding up the week in wrestling news, and a bunch more. Patreon.com/Steven Larson. Go support or get hit with a stunner.